the panel. My name is Maria Granis. I work here at Q&A doing marketing, and we've been doing these panel sessions for about 7 weeks now or so. And we took a little break last week, but we're here to stay. And every Tuesday and Thursday, you can count on us being here at 4 p.m. PST and moving forward. Today's panel is Generation Now, which I'll hand off to Jay in a bit to intro, but just a quick context for the first-time viewers today. This was started as a result of just wanting to create community in a unique time in our history for our music community and our country at that, and our globe. And we've been really warmed by all the messages, all the positivity that's been in the chat, all the connections that are being made digitally, and we want to continue to propel that community. So in the audience chat right now, I'm going to post a link to our Slack channel that you can connect with people after the panel. We have over 1,000 members within the channel, with producers, songwriters, artists, managers, and people wanting to connect and be closer together than ever during this unique time. Also, too, I did post our audience role, so please remain only positivity in the chat. And if you have any questions or suggestions on how we can make the panel better, please sign up for our email list, and you'll be able to submit comments in addition to that. But this is the panel today for Generation Now, and I'm going to hand it over to Julius Erving.
And my whole government. This one is special to me. Just with, from a business perspective, when, I launched my distribution company a couple years ago, I felt like it was super important for me to listen to young people and, what I call Generation Now. Me and Troy have been, in this game for a long time, and, I've kind of had our heyday and, are still blessed to be in it. But I feel like a big part of that is because we try to stay connected to the young people around us and truly listen to them, right? Where, I think there's a lot of senior executives.
You older than me, so speak for yourself.
Yeah, right.
I'm Generation Now. Next.
There's a lot of senior executives that will take the position of like, I did this like this, or I did this, so, this is how it's going to go. And, will kind of be, not listen to the, to young people and respect them and understand that they were once in that seat. And I think this music industry is changing so much daily. We're figuring out, how consumption's happening, how to market and promote, our artists, where young people are listening to music. And, so to be able to sit with some of the leaders of this generation it feels special to me. And I think on a personal note, there's, when I think about the current leaders in our space, and knowing that a couple of my brothers are on, front runners with Sterling, who's little bro and big bro all at the same time, who he's got a couple kids, so we've adopted him into our age demo just by default. And Ryan, who are guys that like when I need something or I gotta tap into who's hot or who's this or that, like those are the guys that I tap into and have to rely on. So to see my brothers, being on the top of the game right now is super. It makes me proud. It makes me proud of them, and knowing that I was there with Sterling when he was an artist and managing him, and kind of helping him, kind of trusting us and helping him transition into being an executive. And I think his first job in publishing was with Troy and myself. So and watching Ryan's growth, and we co-managed artists together, and ultimately president of a publishing company, which is crazy to even say. But all of you guys are, thank you for joining us. This has become a general check-in with our community amongst this pandemic, and really checking on folks and seeing how they're doing and how they're holding up, and a general health check. But it's also turned into a really cool way for us to collaborate, work on stuff together. Every panel that we've done to date, there's been, me kind of and Troy and Ryan and Suzy kind of, and also Maria reaching out to folks has been to join the panel has sparked some dialogue, and then after the panel it sparked business opportunities and additional dialogue. So we hope to continue to do that, and definitely want to start by saying thank you guys for joining us. But just in terms of general check-in, like Whack, I'd love to start with you and just kind of being from Philly and kind of hearing some of the stories on what's going on there, like how you holding up, what's going on in the town, and congratulations on being one of the leaders in Generation Now, one of the coolest artists out right now. We'd just love to hear from you generally, just kind of how you're doing and what you're up to.
Thank you so much, first of all. I knew you were gonna call me out first, and I knew I was. But
you were doing the dance moves on there. I thought you were.
Yeah,
I felt like you were ready.
Try to keep myself, I gotta do all. No, but honestly, at first it was cool because I'm naturally like a person. I'm a homebody. I like to be in the house. I don't really like to come outside or talk to people. So it was cool at first, and then it got weird. But now it's cool again. So yeah, it's just like I watch a lot of movies, and this feels like a movie, and I don't really like being in this movie. Like I'm up and down. I'm up and down. Like, it's just really scary. You just don't know. I think it's just like the fear of the unknown, not knowing when this is going to end and when it's going to be over. So, yeah, I'm just like, I'm here. I'm doing random shit all day in the house. Today I had 4 biscuits. I ate them all.
Beers.
Yeah, a couple beers. Yeah. I'm doing it. Like, I'm just like, gotta learn how to be alone and just like be restricted. Like I'm just learning more discipline, like I don't like I said, I'm naturally a person who's like always just chilling. I don't really go out and party that much unless I have to, if it's not business, you can't really get me outside. So but like I said, just to see like the world in a pan, it's just like it's kind of I don't know, I'm up and down. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I just a weird thing. That's all I have.
Are the kids paying attention now in Philly? Like I felt like I was disappointed in my city, initially in terms of the how they were not taking it as seriously as I felt like they should.
I was like, you can't don't be trying to come at the city now. No, but yeah, I think that's always we like hard, we rough, so like we don't really believe shit until we see shit. Like we gotta see it. Like I have like my brother, he's incarcerated, my younger brother, and they're saying he has it now. So like now it's really like, not saying I wasn't taking it serious, but now I'm really scared. Like up until like it's personal and it's like up in your face. Sometimes it just takes a minute for things to really like click and be like, oh wait, let me like really figure this shit out. Like what is really going on? So, yeah, like the kids in the city, I guess we're all the same. I can't lie and say that I wasn't like skeptical at first. Like I just thought it was like some type of like conspiracy thing, but then like when you really witness like your people, like you hear them calling and saying like, yo, I got it, like I can't breathe, like it gets serious. So yeah, I have mixed emotions, but like I am like, it is a real thing. I know it's a real thing.
Yeah. Kiana, how are you holding up? I know you dropped an album, during this this time, and I also know that you're very much into mental health and all of that. Like, what's your kind of takeaway? How are you holding up? How are you staying positive? I have some friends that are kind of dealing with just the mental side of being down and figuring out how we can be there for each other and support each other and what kind of questions to ask. And, especially in Black culture and us shying away from, mental health at times and feeling like, like Wax said, like we got it, like, we're strong and, we can handle whatever's coming our way. Like, what are you doing during this time and how's it feeling to work a phenomenal album that you dropped? Like what's up in your world?
Thank you.
You got people in chat calling it album of the year too, by the way.
Yes, that's right. They know. I really appreciate that. I think the main thing for me is just trying to stay out of my head. Like, I'm somebody who overthinks and does it really well. And the one good thing that this quarantine has done, not that it's done anything good, but the one good thing, if I was trying to find something, is it's helped me learn how to be very self-sufficient. Like, I now know how to record myself. I'm getting a laptop, which I like denied that I needed one. But now I'm like, okay, how am I gonna fucking make music if I don't have a laptop? So now I'm getting a laptop. I'm like not being such a grandma anymore with my technology. I'm relearning my instruments and really just trying to stay busy and let music kind of guide me in this time. It's definitely been really tough with anxiety and depression. And as you said, I talk about it all the time because I'm someone who's struggled with it my entire life. But just to stay out of my head is like my main job right now. It was like a really weird time to put out an album, especially my debut album, because I had all these huge things planned. And when it doesn't really go your way, in general, when life doesn't really go your way, you kind of see it as like a struggle. But I'm realizing like it's just part of the plan, and I just kind of have to take it as it comes. And yeah, it's been weird, but I'm starting to get used to it. Like Tierra said, I feel like, why is asking me this right now? I feel like I'm more scared of what's gonna happen after. Like, how are we gonna get to go outside again? How are we all gonna be able to, I'm the opposite. I'm a very like people person. So I'm like focused on like, how am I gonna get to see my friends and my family and like have get-togethers and, yeah, it's weird, but
Can I jump back?
Do it. Yeah.
Kiana, everything you said was really cute and really sweet and like it's so cool. No, but it kind of triggered something in my brain because like as an artist, like just like I had a really good run the past 2 years and like I was like never home. I was living out of a suitcase. So like I said, it was I was wanting like that free time and like I wanted to be with my family and everything. And now that I'm getting that time, like I was happy, but then I was like, wait, like I still want to know how this is going to end. So, you know, I'm with my mom and my sister every day. That's who I'm quarantining with. And, but like, I just still, it's just like, I just don't know. Like, I want to appreciate this time and make the best of it, but I'm just not sure. Like, so yeah, I appreciate it, but then I'm like, no, I want to see, like, you can't like give me candy. And like, I want to know like, yo, who, like, I'm not going to accept, like, I feel like it's a trick. I don't know. I'm going crazy. I am.
But the mental health piece of it is so real. The mental health piece of it is so real. And you know, for you guys to be completely just honest and transparent about it is great. Like, you know, Suzy and I were actually talking about it this morning, just like where you hit these walls, you know, because where like you have to be so mentally strong to be able to make it through this level of global crisis that we're in right now. And, you know, just the level of news cycle, the level of information, and just, you know, I don't know if anybody could be honest and who can say they haven't been anxious around this. And right. Like a few weeks ago, Jay knows, I called Jay, I said, Jay, I had a moment yesterday. It was a real moment though, because I was in the house for a month and a half at that point. And it's like, you know, so you get these moments, but I felt comfortable enough to call my brother Jay to be able to open up to him on how I was feeling at that particular time. So just to be able to have those outlets that we could share with each other and not have to front like, you know, we're plowing through it when we're all human at the end of the day.
I want to say too, back to the whole, like, I spoke to my uncle who's been incarcerated for 8 years, and I speak to him a lot. At least I try to answer his call every chance I get, and now I have a lot of time, so of course there's no excuse. I got to talk to him. But yeah, I was talking to him, and I was like, you know, it was one of those days. Wait, these questions are popping up. It was one of those days where I was just having a bad day. Like I was starting to panic, and the anxiety was starting to get to me. And he was like, yo, you're in a better position than I am. Like, I've been locked up for 8 years. Like, just make the best out of it. You'll be okay. It's all a mental thing. And once he had that talk with me, I was like, you know what the fuck am I bitching for? Like, I need to, like, just, I can do this. Like I said, it's all mental. So yeah, me talking to him, like, he's like, look, you got better food choices than me, at least, you know, like, we not eating good up here. So, like, just make the best out of it and just, you know, stay down until you come up. So yeah, and I feel like after having that talk with him, it really, like, made me, like, I'm like, yo, like, I got to be more grateful and just, you know, take this time to, like I said, really just spend it with the family, people I love. You know, I'm calling everybody every day, texting, FaceTiming, Zoom, hitting the Zoom. Yeah, just being more, like, everything that I was procrastinating, like, I don't have any excuse to procrastinate anymore. So yeah, I'm just trying to make the best out of, like, this time, this free time.
I feel that. I also want to say that to both of you guys' point, in the Black community, we love to suppress things. Like, we love to be like, it's fine. We should just be grateful for where we're at. There's people, like, that is totally valid, but also your feelings of anxiousness are also valid. And if you're hearing that, imagine how many other people are feeling that. And I think the most important thing to me is, like, not only do I really appreciate when people reach out to me, but I have to remember, and I'm really trying to focus on this too, reaching out to other people. Because you know how good it feels when somebody reaches out to you and is like, hey, just checking on you. Even that just checking on you text is enough for somebody to get out of their head and be able to feel like they can confide in you if they have something to say or if they're thinking about something, rather than just having it all trapped in their head, because that could feel really lonely, especially if you're quarantined by yourself. So yeah, I think one of the most important things for us as a world together, and especially in the Black community, to be reaching out to our family and our friends and just checking up. That's really important.
Absolutely.
He's smart.
Easy. Thanks for joining us, my brother. I think you're on mute. Oh, there you go.
I'm on mute.
There you go. They got you now.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Hey, what's the deal?
Thanks for joining us, man.
It's all good.
How you holding up?
Man, I'm cool, man. Hey, you know, it ain't nothing to me. I'm always to myself anyway, so I'm cool with it.
You've been social distancing, huh?
Mm-hmm.
How are you staying creative? Chris and I were talking a little bit yesterday just about, you know, your process and the fact that you were still in the studio making a lot of music. Like, how are you staying creative during this time?
It's the same thing. I mean, ain't nothing changed. It just, you know, I'm still just going to the studio, you know what I'm saying, recording and you know, just doing me. It ain't nothing really changed for me though, bro, honestly.
You also dropped a single during this time. Do you feel like, you know, what did you see in terms of differences in being able to get out and work it? I know that thing's working for you now, but what do you feel differently?
It's different just not being able to just go perform it. Or not just being just able just to hit the radio station or do the promo like physically, you know what I'm saying? We've been doing it over the internet, but you know, like person still wants to get out and interact with the people, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day. And that's probably like one of the most things I'm missing about just not being able to perform it, just being able to interact with my fans and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But it's moving good like for, cause you know, so many people on the internet, so you know, I guess the streams up. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't got nothing to do, so they on the phone. So that's a good part about it. But versus just being out and being able to perform, that's the thing that's killing me.
Yeah, we talked before about like that feeling that you get when you're in the club and your record comes on, and just that energy, and the fact that that's something that's hard to, you know, to match during this time. You know, you can look at your numbers, your streaming numbers are great. I see that your record's reacting on TikTok in a real way. Like, but being able to be out and feel it, I know, is an energy that is definitely missed.
Exactly.
Sonny, I know you got your own setup over there, your own compound. How you staying creative?
Smoking what he's smoking right now. Him and Ant.
We just smoking, we just vibing though, but ain't really too much ain't changed. I always I got like I said, I got my studio over here. I got a whole like compound basically, but it's private though, so I kind of moderate the traffic that come through here anyways though. So but as far as even with myself though, I be working by myself anyways though, so it's not really too much changing. Oh yeah, then we got, you know, a little bit of, you know, we having that in all the studios. Little head. So, you know, but I mean, I'm just chilling though. Ain't too much change though. I'm just in here just making beats. Really, I really just been watching a lot of shit, just trying to get a little more inspiration during this time for real. And instead of like really just going hard with working though, I've been handling a lot more business though, because I know everybody just sitting on their computers and stuff. So I know like as far as like, getting like paperwork signed and stuff though, it'll probably be a little easier right now since everybody's sitting down. You know, like I'm just kind of like trying to handle a lot more of the technical stuff since everybody ain't so much running around and stuff. You know.
How you staying connected to the artists that you're working with? Creatively.
Via email, Instagram, social media, kind of keep everybody connected though. Like that's pretty much it though. And then the people that's in Atlanta though, the people I know, I still let them come put it to my studio, but I just tell them just move lightly though. Don't come super deep, and we'll just create still though. The studio's still open though, but it's just more moderated how I'm running it though right now. And so it's still pretty easy to kind of connect with artists. It's probably a little more easier now if they just sitting in front of the computer or sitting on their phone all day or sitting in the studio all day, so they probably more prone to listen to beats or just do anything right now because there ain't not too much else to do.
Congrats on all the Don Toliver stuff too.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's going up. Sterno, what's good with you, ball?
What's up with you, Op?
How you holding up over there?
We're holding up, man. Taking it one day at a time. Of course, me, transitioning from one company to another was kind of different. I'm in a new role, trying to figure out how to do a new hustle in a new way. You know what I'm saying? During this time, on this new normal. Hopefully it doesn't stay normal like this for too much longer. But it's been cool. We've still been able to be effective. I'm still digging through music every day. Luckily, I'm grateful to have a house and, I have a front and backyard. That's really been, especially for my kids, it's been a saving grace. They've been able to go out and just kind of do them without being cooped up in the house too long. But yeah, it's definitely different, man. I'm hoping things change a little. We talk every day. It's like, when is this shit gonna be over with? Trying to figure out different ways to keep inspired and, stay positive. Of course, that's a challenge, especially with me with kids. I got to keep a certain level of positivity going on in the crib so they don't freak out. You know what I'm saying? So, it's been a challenge, but, I'm pushing through it.
Is it fair to tell the streets that you ended up with HITCO because we couldn't afford you, or do we got to keep, like, I don't want to put your personal business out there, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want people feeling like you guys a ton of bread right now.
He would have had to choose between a front yard or a backyard. He wouldn't have been able to have both, right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to put your business out there, but
shouts out to LA, man, for supporting my vision, man. Helping to keep the lights on over here.
Hey, Sterling, just to touch on something, kind of like switching subjects just a little bit, but to watch you go from being in front of the camera to kind of being behind it, can you talk a little bit about that transition of just going from artist to executive, and just the road that and what was the trigger for you, and then what's main
sure. I know anytime I do these, anytime I do a panel, anytime I get a chance to speak to young kids, I always try to encourage them to keep an open mind. How you come into this is not how you may leave out. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you'd have told me 15, 16 years ago that I was going to be, an A&R, I'd have told you you was out your mind, because the only thing that I had in my sight was being next Usher. You know what I'm saying? So, but for me, just kind of like realizing where a lot of my strengths were, and realizing where a lot of my relationships lied. I remember coming out of my RCA deal, which was like the second deal that I had. And so I was coming out of it kind of feeling like I wanted to do something different. Even when I did that deal, I always felt like RCA never really got a fair shake because my heart just kind of really wasn't in it as much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like I was just really doing it, because I just had a kid. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to figure out other ways to, bring money into the crib. And like, I can't really say that, I really had the same love for it. I remember wanting to, entering into that deal. I remember times where I just wanted to be a producer and just wanted to write, be kind of behind the scenes, you know what I'm saying? And so, Just kind of looking back on where my relationships lied, it just made sense. And I remember talking with Jay and Troy one day. Really, conversation started with Jay. I remember I called him, and we were talking. I was like, "Yo, I know you and Troy, kind of like starting back up again over at Adam Factory, and like y'all are kind of building this producer-songwriter division. I want to raise my hand and kind of be a part of that." And he got quiet on me, and I thought I lost the nigga or something, you know what I'm saying? He was like, "Yo, that's actually a great idea." He was like, "Yo, let me talk to Troy about it." Because I felt like for me, my whole career, I've always been like the glue for certain people without, just out of the love, you know what I'm saying? Like, me, Pop, and Oak came into this thing together. I had a team called the Night Riders in Atlanta. If you were around during that time, everybody knew us. We were kind of making moves and making music. And I kind of just always loved being in the creative space with producers and writers and with artists. And then when I looked at where all my best friends were, a lot of my best friends were executives and managers and A&Rs, you know what I'm saying? But I felt like as an artist, my relationships were really hitting the cap and hitting the ceiling, you know what I'm saying? And Jay and Troy helped me transition into this space, and I'm forever grateful for it. And ever since then, it's been great. It's been love. I started out as a manager and as a publisher, and now A&R at a label. 6 years into it, it feels great. I've had some wins under my belt, and yeah, I'm still learning and I'm still growing. But it just feels like my comfort zone. It felt like my comfort zone.
Sure. And Clemons, how does it feel to be a part of Generation Now as an artist, not just a songwriter?
I'm just happy to be here, brother. I'm so serious. Like it's an honor to be taken seriously, like amongst my peers, doing something I love to do that I do for free. So this is it's a super blessing for me.
Hey, Aunt, do you take showers with that hat on?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you go to sleep with that hat on?
It come off sometimes, but then I put it back on.
All right. That's the last question.
I know you're with a really dope distribution company, but what's your experience been like, just as an artist and kind of working your own records and all of that? Like, what's your experience been?
It's been like anything but horrible. HR is the worst people I ever worked with in my life. Like J Erving is cool on his FaceTime and everything, but I'm joking. For real, y'all have constantly made my dreams come true. From the vision of the videos, talking to you guys in one of our first meetings, to making it possible from behind the scenes, everything that y'all have done. This panel, the whole thing is popping up. Everything y'all have done for me is phenomenal. I can't even thank you enough. I feel blessed and honored just to be a part of the game that I love listening to, love being a part of, love studying from, love every aspect of it. So honestly, I have no complaints. Y'all put me on a billboard on my first project. I can't complain about nothing.
That's dope. Chris, love to check in with you, man.
Yes, sir.
I think one of the things that I would love to, kind of get into with you, I think in around this concept of Generation Now is what I touched on initially with, listening to this, to your generation and folks that are, in control now. And I think with you, signing Yella Beezy and kind of the trust level there, and kind of talk to me a little bit about, just your experience with being heard and your connection to the young generation of artists.
Well, I think my connection is I'm very, very observant about the youth, and I watch and I study. And the other day I actually looked at my phone, and I've been on Instagram for 6 hours a day. I couldn't believe it. I'm doing activity. My activity is out of control right now since I've been home. It's allowed me time to really, really focus in and try to find the next superstar. I just think you have to concentrate on the youth. I think, like you say, it's Generation Now, Generation Next, and just being ahead, seeing what the next thing is that's coming by studying, keeping your ear to the streets, keeping information coming in by doing research and so on and so forth. But I think my contribution has been, Yella Beezy first. We've had a lot of success together with.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, say that shit.
Yeah, so we got about 3 gold plaques together. I think one plaque.
About 4, 5.
So we've done pretty good, so far. HITCO is a brand new company. Beezy's been around a few years now. He's our flagship. Him and St. John. Shout out to St. John with the #1 record out right now. HITCO. Beezy's following up with a headlock. So we tearing it up right now with HITCO, man. L.A. Reid.
A lot of promo going on today.
Yeah. I see that. He talking that shit right there.
And Young Thug on the record with him too. But nah, man, it's just being the head. Like, even when Tierra came out, I was a big fan of her back when she first came on the scene. I actually tried to get to her, but Sterling beat me to her. But that's
He sure did.
Chris be knowing, man. Chris be knowing something. I ain't lying to you.
Yes, sir. But yeah, I just think being first, man, is the key. You have to lead first, and just you have to be ahead of the curve and be on it. And just and understand it when you see it. When I saw Beezy, he was looking like a superhero. He had the shag, and I'm like, what's this shit on this nigga neck, man? Like he had the whole thing going on, looking like a cartoon character. So he had that whole thing. He had a thing about him. Everybody has a thing. Every real artist has a thing. He had his thing. So that's what drew me to him. And then his voice. He had that southern twang. So I knew he was special. And I think he's just getting started, man. But that's the main thing, just being early and understanding what it is when you see it. And a lot of people don't really know how to have that instinct to see it and know it. And I think I've been blessed with that. Thank God. So any young exec, just stay on your game, study sharp, keep your tools sharpened, and be ready. And it's all about like staying on the internet. You have to really, really study and stay on it, because those are the ones that's going to win. The ones that's really paying attention. You can't take no days off. It's a 7-day-a-week job, 24 hours a day. The ones who really understand it, those are the ones who are going to cut through.
Definitely. Kiana, and I think that like the younger generation gets an unfair knock of just like not making like R&B or So I would just love to hear from both of y'all. Just what's your approach when you're going in to make your records, and like what are the things that inspire you to like maybe hold on to some of the old traditions, but still like intertwine that with just some of the new creativity that's going on? Because I just think it just is an unfair thing all the time that just like, hey, it's not timeless music, it's this, it's that. So just would love to hear a little bit of y'all perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I've always loved R&B. R&B is my choice of music. It has been since the day I came out the womb. So I am obviously inspired by all of the R&B artists, especially the R&B women that came before me. And they will continue to inspire me as I make music. They are informing me continuously. I think that the one thing that stays consistent with R&B is real and true emotion. And if you're capturing that, it doesn't matter how you put it out at this point. Like, I think people have such an attachment to the old shit, and the old shit is so good, obviously. It's there for a reason. We love it for a reason. But I think when you start allowing things to become its own thing and people to innovate, then that's what makes a whole new thing that's just as beautiful in its own way. I think people need to give that shit up. Like, it's so trash to me.
What about you, man?
No, absolutely piggybacking off of that. Like, I think we're blessed to be in a position of like an evolution of R&B, where it's like we're like right in the middle of taking still from the greats and classics, but adding our own different perspectives from where we're at, from our life experiences. Like, I love going into records that are like near and true to me. So like my favorite songs are the ones that I play when I'm either going through it or I'm like, I need to hear a song just to shift my mood. And I try to like do that when I'm making my music. I try to tap into what was that emotion I was feeling and how many other people are also feeling it. And with R&B, it's the perfect just open canvas for you to just get your emotions off. like love music isn't dead. And it's like with Kiana's music, it's super honest. My music is super honest. It's just like we're still making love R&B records. So I'm excited. I'm excited for where R&B is. I'm excited for like where it's going. I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
What you about to say, Jay?
I was gonna ask Whack, like, just kind of where do you put your music? Like, if you know, I know us old guys try to put it in a box sometimes, but I think what you're doing is so innovative and different, and like would love to know like your musical inspirations and kind of you know, how you get to your zone.
Yeah. My musical inspirations are, I mean, growing up, I listened to everything from Alicia Keys to Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston, and then Spice Girls, and then John Mayer and Sarah Bareilles. So because I had so much time on my hands, I grew up in South Phoenix, which like there's not much to do there. And I spent a lot of time just at my piano. So that's why I loved singer-songwriter music. And it kind of went hand in hand with like how emotional and honest the lyrics were with R&B music. So when I sat down at the piano, I would play like R&B chords and write songs literally just at my piano like a singer-songwriter would write it. So I think that's why my lyrics are the way that they are and as honest as they are. But I would categorize my music as R&B, but I think today we're kind of in a space of alternative R&B. Yeah, so I would say it's alternative R&B.
And then
What
to
about you, Whack?
piggyback on Jay's question around musical inspiration, like for Tierra, like I'm so blown away by your visuals and your creativity, like when you pair the music with the actual visuals and the colors, and even just like how you present yourself right now, it's incredible. And like, where does that come from? And like, what beautiful inspirations do you have in your brain that, you know, whether it was from childhood or you're growing up, or like, you know, what are your influences?
Honestly, they come from everywhere. Like just like the smallest things, the biggest things. You know, as far as music, I would say, of course, the Lauryn Hill, the Missy Elliott's, the Busta Rhymes, the Ludacris, everybody, all the crazies, really. I look up to all the crazies, everybody who's like, you know, just pushing the envelope and just like trying to just do something different for the game. And yeah, I don't know. I hate being bored. So I'm always trying to find new ways to have fun. And yeah, I was going to say, like, I was looking at all you guys besides Sonny. I was looking at your backgrounds and like, it's like daytime, but here in Philly, like it's about to be dark. And like, so like I'm ahead of you guys. And like, so the day goes faster than you guys. So I'm ahead of you guys always, no matter what, because I'm in Philly and you're in LA. Kiana, are you in LA? She's on mute. Okay, sweet.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, but
I'm
it's
in LA.
catch the fuck up, motherfuckers.
Maria, would love to get some questions from the chat too.
You got it. So first off, thank you everyone for being on the panel today. I'm going to get into questions, and if you still have questions that you want to ask the panelists or the whole group, post them in the Q&A section and upvote some of your favorites. Also, too, you're going to post once again in the chat our Slack community if you're interested in just connecting after and just continuing to build community. First question from the Q&A section comes from.
Let me mute myself. I was chewing a little.
Oh, actually, Tierra, you should unmute yourself because this question's for you, and it's a lovely message from Florencia. This message is for Tierra. Thank you for being such an innovative, positive artist in a time where it is most needed. My question is, what inspires you to create, and what challenges have you faced as a female artist in this industry?
Okay, so I want to say thank you so much. Maybe ask the question again.
Of course. The question is, what inspires you to create, and what challenges have you faced as a female artist in this industry?
Okay, so like when I first started, like growing up in Philly, like just being like trying to prove myself as like a rapper, like a real MC, like all the guys like that was their thing. And like for me to walk in and be like, I was to, it was like really difficult. Like, so I had to make sure I worked 10 times harder than everyone in order to get the respect that I wanted and needed to be, you know, taken seriously. So I guess just me, like I always, like if I felt someone was, I found the best MCs and I tried to like be better than them. And that's what made me turn out on top. Yeah, like till this day, like I grew up on like watching battle rap. I still do that. I think some of these battle rappers that are out here right now, like they're the most clever and creative like MCs I've ever heard. Together, like I don't think they get enough credit. But yeah, I don't know. I just try to stay on my game. Like I'm always like, if I find something cool, like I'm a sponge. Like to whatever I see, whatever I think that's cool and different. Like I'm gonna figure it out, you know, and then I make it my own. And yeah, just I don't, like I said, it goes back to just everything. Like anything can inspire me. Like these fucking Oreos, I've been killing Oreos this whole quarantine. I never really liked Oreos until this quarantine. I don't know what it is, but like Oreos are so good. I'm gonna find a way to make a song about Oreos.
You got to get the vanilla double stuff joints.
No. Who just said that? Who said that?
Jay.
Which one? Jay. No, double stuff.
Vanilla double stuff.
No.
It'll change your life. Jay. It'll change your life. Trust me.
You talking about the light skin Oreos?
Yeah. Of course.
No,
of course.
Yeah, you know we have a beef with light skin and dark
skin. Of course.
No, dark skin Oreos. I'm not going to light skin. And double stuff, no.
Yeah, they always gotta throw skin tone into it.
That's what I'm saying.
Find a way to throw it into a conversation.
These are
who starts talking about albino Oreos for the cookie conversation? They always gonna bring it up.
It's changed your life.
The original, yeah.
Kiana, I need you on this one. I need you to chime in on this one. You gotta join me.
I'm sorry, I just can't back up with the light skin Oreos.
Right.
Do it.
Me and Beezy riding for the light skin Oreos.
Matter of fact, I'm finna show y'all how hard I'm riding for him. I'll be right back.
Oh my God.
What?
He moved to LA, man. He's different now.
Yo, oh my God.
I don't discriminate on the Oreos, you know what I'm saying? I take mine light and dark, you know what I mean?
Have you ever had the green ones, like from Japan, the matcha
No.
ones? So good. Matcha Oreos.
Green Oreos?
Yo, listen, fam.
Matcha green.
Suzy!
Have you ever had a matcha latte? Starbucks?
Suzy!
Mute yourself.
You probably eat the green Kit Kats.
Suzy. Mute yourself.
Beezy came through.
I can't believe you. The green
Beezy.
Matcha.
Came through.
We're here.
I don't play around.
Nah, I can't get with them. Like they don't
pack in.
Right where I need you at.
I got that pack in.
Yo, Tierra, I got a question.
Who's that talking to me? Let me see. Who that? What's up? What you want?
So, like, were those braids influenced by, like, Princess Leia or X to the Z exhibit?
No, actually, Erykah Badu.
Ooh, okay. Give it up to him.
Yeah.
Man.
X to the Z exhibit.
You trying to fry me or you was?
No, I'm dead ass. I was really wondering.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to.
Okay.
Yo, she was ready to bake you just now, dog. She was ready to take it to the cafeteria just now, dog.
I can't sit still. I was waiting on somebody to make a joke.
I'm gonna grab a few more questions from the audience. We have, let's see. Mia asked, how do you feel about IG live streaming music and artists, songwriters not monetizing that way, while a lot of IG lives have huge reach? It's a question for everyone on this chat.
I feel like the artist should answer that first. Like,
what do you think about that?
Whack.
I'll ask it again just to make sure everyone got it. So the question was from Mia, and the question is, how do you feel about IG live streaming music and artists / songwriters not monetizing that way, while a lot of IG lives have huge reach?
Beezy, what's your thoughts on that?
Huh?
What's your thoughts on that?
IG live, like stream, like it's like, what do you guys mean?
I guess it's leaning towards like how, you know, you're not able to monetize on IG live streaming quite yet as a feature. But basically, just to make sure everyone got the question, it's how do you feel about IG live streaming music and artists / songwriters not monetizing that way, while a lot of IG lives have huge reach?
Sonny,
I would just say, like, you know, you got to think about at this stage the trade-offs, you know, in terms of can you use their reach to be able to monetize in other ways, and honestly, you know, it's I think in terms of value versus what you would actually receive from that live stream, you probably get more value out of the live stream than actual dollars when you really think about, you know, the actual monetization.
What I would add to that too is I think it's a, you know, profile. When you look at what's happened with like Versus and some of these other things that have, you know, these battles and whatnot that have transpired through IG Live, you know, since we've been down, I think the profile on a lot of the folks that have participated in those things have significantly grown.
I went back and listened to the whole Babyface Teddy Riley title playlist after that.
Yeah, they started trending real tough after that. Everything,
sure.
like all they was, yeah.
oh, I get what you mean now. Okay, that's really good. The Jonte and Neo was crazy. That's my favorite one.
Neo was his faces were classic during that whole ordeal.
No, the Shine Garrett and Dream one.
Oh
yeah.
Oh, that was classic right there. That was
about it is it was like kind of like a surprise because you forget like some of the songs that people wrote, and then it's like it makes you run back to like the streaming services, and then you're like, yo, and then you put it on repeat, add it to a playlist. Yeah, it's a smart marketing plan.
I honestly think like, yo, like the people that were smart enough to pay attention to like masters are like making a lot of money right now. Like, and it's like, if you were smart enough to capitalize on your catalog and own your music, yeah, go stream my stuff. But like, if you in a situation where you don't own your music and you're playing a catalog of hits, it's like really not making that artist any real money.
Talk to him, man. You own your shit, man.
Well, I understand that. I ain't talking about.
If you don't want your A&R all up in the video, come to human resources. You own your shit.
Yes, sir.
Gonna go through 2 more questions here. And just a reminder for everyone in the audience, we're gonna come back here on Thursday at 4 p.m. PST for film and TV. And we're gonna announce the lineup tomorrow, most likely. But also posting in the chat for any Slack and email updates as well. Question from Elsie I saw here. What's the worst advice you've ever received?
Don't do it like that. It don't go like this. You gotta do it like this. Yeah, it don't go. Now you gotta do it this way. This is not the right way. You gotta do it like this.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then I had the they were basically telling me that I can only focus on one sound at a time.
Yeah.
And yeah. So they were like, oh, you can't really sing, so just rap. Yeah.
That's wild.
But I do a little. I season a little bit of both. You know what I mean? Season down with the, you know, with the adobe and the adobo and the sazon and the salt.
And then people will always project their fears and failures on you. So it's like, so if they failed at something, or they saw somebody fail at something, or they're scared to do something or scared to take shots, I think people project their failure on you. So it's like, you know, for me, I listen to people who I'm most close with, and then I just go with my gut, you know. But like when it's people who really actually care about the outcome, then that's when the advice counts. If it's people who don't have any skin in the game in your life, take it with 20 grains of salt, because it does that advice doesn't matter. But it has to be people with skin in the game who actually cares about the results, and then you from there is following your own gut.
Right.
I would say the the worst piece of advice I ever got was say yes to everything. I think as the longer you're in the game, I feel like I started to realize that saying no was just as important as saying yes sometimes. I felt like earlier on, because I've been doing this since I was 15, I got signed for the first time. And I felt bad saying no. I felt like I was doing something wrong by saying no. I felt like I wasn't taking shots by saying no. But sometimes you just have to.
All you gotta do is say yes. I think you gotta jump in. You gotta jump in. Whatever, okay.
All you gotta do is say no.
Yeah, I like that.
We're gonna get to one more question here, and just as a reminder for everyone in the audience, once again, we're gonna be coming back here on Thursday at 4 p.m. PST for film and TV. And just thank you again to all the panelists. Like I said, this came about as a result of wanting to build community in this time, and these panelists all offered their time today to be able to just try to inspire folks and just further build community. So we thank you for that. And our last question for this session. How do you guys feel this time period will shape music that comes out? Sorry, I switched that. How do you guys feel this will shape music that comes out of this time period?
People are going to be the most vulnerable they've ever seen.
I personally feel like some of the best music is going to come out of this whole downtime. I think a lot of artists have time to really
focus on music.
Oh, I agree. I like that, Chris. He's smart.
Really think about, and process the last few years and then put it into the music. Now, because before they're moving around, they're touring, they're doing shows, they don't have time to really sit down and really think and process. So I think
not even just think. I think like people just sometimes when they're on the road, they just try to put out music just fast just because they know that's the trend right now. So you actually put more into your craft, like you say, you thinking more, and you just really just sitting down and just getting back to the old shit. You know what I'm saying? Versus you just putting out shit just because you know you need to put out something because you've been traveling and you ain't had no new music out.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I also think this is probably gonna separate the real from the the shit that ain't gonna sustain or last long enough. You know what I'm saying?
Talk heavy, Sterl. Talk heavy. Talk heavy.
Talk to him. Come on, Sterl.
But the real vibe and last out of this, you know what I'm saying? I think we went through a long wave of just like trendy shit here today, going tomorrow type things. But I feel like it's kind of hitting a reset. Real artists are getting like put music out, and put thought-provoking content out that people can really latch on to.
Right.
Do you guys, the artists on the panel, do you guys feel the pressure of these timelines where you don't have that moment to take that step back and sort of reflect on what you want to talk about next? Like is it that sort of like, where does the pressure come from? Is it self-pressure? Is it sort of your peers in the industry, the volume that they're putting out? Is it the fans' expectations? Like,
well, I always take my time, so I'm never really pressured.
Right.
I like it. And I was gonna also say that I feel like everyone's gonna come out with like a song or a visual about this whole quarantine thing and this Corona thing, but it's like it's about who does it in the most creative way. So I feel like we're all gonna. I mean, I already put something out, a little parody about just being inside all day going crazy, but I feel like we're all going to be talking about the same thing, which is fine though. We have to, we all experience this, this thing together. So it's reasonable, but like I said, I think everybody is just going to like be talking about the same shit. But it's about who does it the best.
Everybody gonna have that same quarantine punchline.
Yeah. Right. Awkward.
We can close it out, Maria.
Yeah, sounds good.
Oh, Maria, also I had one suggestion that I forgot to share with our broader team, but when it comes to creativity and just kind of like taking risks and expressing yourself, I did something over the weekend that I like hadn't done in decades, and I was at Staples buying some supplies, and I like stumbled upon the arts section, and I ended up buying Crayolas, Play-Doh, and I didn't even know this existed, but there is such thing as kinetic sand. Like I have it right here so I can show you, but it is 2 pounds of magical sand.
Oh yeah.
If like Tierra, this is like all you. You're like you put it out into a bowl and it sticks together and you can make stuff. And I had to buy it. So if any of you don't have weekend plans, like
get some sand.
procure kinetic sand.
I was just literally.
Suzy, did you invest in that? Are you like? Are you?
A lot of promo going on today.
Oh, I didn't invest in this, but I think it's
Suzy
brilliant.
sand?
Like I don't know if you've seen slime, but like people making like their own slime packs. But
I got it. So I'm just going to disclaimer, all of this shit is so hard to get out of your furniture when you got a 6-year-old at home.
I'm gonna send this to you guys, Troy. Penelope can get her hands into it.
Everyone expect kinetic sand in their mailbox after the panel. Thank you. But thank you everyone once again for joining us, both the audience members and the panelists. Like it's always good to feel like to laugh amongst friends during this new time in our history. But like I said, if you'd like to connect with us after, sign up for our email list or prefer to Slack group, please join in the just post it in the chat group there. And if you have any questions or any suggestions on how to make the panel better, feel free to shoot us a note on the Q&A Instagram. Thank you so much, everyone. We really appreciate your time, and we'll see you on
Thank
Thursday.
you, guys. Thank all you guys.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
For everyone still on the lagging side, I'm posting in the Slack group once again the little chat for put link to our Slack group and our links to our social media. Thank you everyone. I'll see you Thursday at 4.